Nonviolent communication, building bridges, not barriers. Communication doesn't have to be problematic or a battleground. Have you ever felt like you were losing control during a conversation? Then this video is for you, because today I'm going to give you amazing tips on how to move from poor and uncontrolled communication to more assertive communication using nonviolent communication. If you're ready, let's get started.
The importance of nonviolent communication.
The term nonviolent communication was developed by psychologist Marshall Rosenberg. It is an approach to communication that seeks to build relationships and resolve conflict in a peaceful way. Its importance lies in its ability to transform our relationships, not only in the personal sphere, but also in any area where you need to communicate. Believe me, this will help you do your shopping at the supermarket. This principle of communication is based on empathy, respect, and mutual understanding. Values that enrich our interactions and create an environment conducive to collaboration and problem solving. What can go wrong when you think you're communicating well, but it all ends in violence? Conflicted conversations are the opposite of what we need. What does this mean? Well, people often resort to criticizing, judging, blaming, and denying each other's feelings. These communication patterns can lead to a destructive cycle in which both parties feel hurt, misunderstood, and defensive. Lack of active listening and empathy can lead to deteriorating relationships and escalating conflict. Has this happened to you? It's more common than you might think. The inability to express our needs clearly without blaming others is another common obstacle. This can be very common when we don't want to accept blame or our pride won't let us get to the solution. Instead of communicating what we really need, we often take an indirect approach that makes it difficult for others to understand our true intentions, which usually leads to misunderstanding and resentment. So, how does this affect your relationships? Let's start with the fact that it causes tension in our personal relationships and can damage morale in the workplace. Similarly, poor communication can also affect our mental health, as unresolved conflict and a lack of emotional connection can cause stress, anxiety, and depression. Ultimately, a lack of nonviolent communication prevents us from reaching our potential in all areas of our lives. Do you realize how important it is to change our bad communication habits? I'm going to give you 5 ways to improve this aspect of your life. Active listening and empathy. The foundation of nonviolent communication is active listening. Instead of thinking about how to respond, we should focus on fully understanding the other person. Basically, it means paying attention to their words, emotions, and needs. Putting yourself in the other person's shoes is essential to creating an environment of trust. You can choose to ask questions like, how do you feel? And what do you need? To show your genuine interest in understanding the other person, expressing feelings and needs. It is very important to communicate our feelings and needs clearly and directly. For example, instead of blaming or criticizing, we can say things like, when that happened, I felt sad. In this way, we allow the other person to understand our experience and respond with more compassion. Avoid judgments and stereotypes. Judgments and labels are poison to effective communication. Never say you're disorganized. You can say, I feel overwhelmed when we don't keep order in our shared space. Avoiding labels and judgments helps keep the conversation from becoming confrontational and allows for more constructive dialogue. Ask, do not demand. Try not to make demands, but instead make respectful requests. For example, instead of saying you should do this, we can say, would you consider doing this? This allows the other person to maintain their autonomy and be more likely to cooperate. Practice self-compassion. This also applies to how we communicate with ourselves. Be kind to yourself. Stop criticizing and judging yourself. And why not try to be compassionate and kind to your own needs and feelings? This self-compassion helps us to be in a more balanced state of mind to approach difficult conversations with others. You give what you receive from yourself. I know it's not easy, but the idea is to try more and more often. Even if there are stakes, because by learning to listen actively and to express our emotions and needs honestly, we can create a world of more harmonious and effective communication. So why not try this powerful tool and start transforming your conversations and relationships today? This was Life with Alfie. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep these tools coming to you. See you in the next video.